Hi there, welcome to City Skylines for Beginners. This is tutorial number 10, and I'm actually redoing it after having done 11 and 12 and then going back and looking at 10 and realizing that I had placed things from this tutorial in this area where we really need to have this section done, which will come up in the tutorial after this one, but I've had to redo this entire section, which meant that what I was doing in this tutorial previously wasn't working. So you don't need to worry about it, it's not going to make a difference, but you may see some things back out here and some things over here that don't look the same as your last tutorial. Don't worry about it. You'll make these in the coming tutorials. Okay, that said, we're going to make a water stream going into our main starting tile. Again, this is our starting tile, and in order to be able to publish our map to the maps list that we can then create a city from, we have to have a water stream going into and back out of this main tile, not just anywhere. So the ocean doesn't work, what we put up here doesn't work. So we're going to put a little lake. Just go down here and go to the second one over like we always do, and we're just going to pop a lake in here up in this ridge. Up, up, up. Might help if I started out with the right size, huh? Okay. Maybe make it a little bit smaller and a little low. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to pop a little hole in here that we're going to make a lake out of. And we're going to get down here in the area that we're going to work in, which is going to be a very small area. This doesn't have to take up a lot of room. Oh, I do see one mistake that I made. I'm going to correct. I'm going to put you on hold. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so we're going to make a little lake here, and we're going to run it in here to the center tile and back out in a little river, and then we'll take it from there. So back to the leveling tool, and we want to make a small lake or a small river, certainly not any bigger than that. And right now, if we right-click here, which is the area that we want the river to be as high as, we find that we're at 70.63 feet. Well, we're going to take this down to 0 because we want this riverbed to be lower than the terrain that we're running through. So we're going to make a little section here that's lower than the lake, and we're going to, I think that might be too big actually. Yeah, it is. So we'll figure, we'll just cover this up here. Okay, so again down to 0 with the terrain height. Make a little bottom area for this to flow into before it goes out, and then we'll make our brush size much smaller, maybe a tiny bit bigger than that. Now I want it to be big enough that when we make our river, which is going to run through here, now right here you're going to see a problem, but we'll fix it. Okay, it's going to run through here and then back out over here, and then we're going to run it as close to this cliff area as we can. We are now out of the city, so we don't have to be quite so careful because we're never going to use this area again except for the water to flow out. We can make this brush size a little bit bigger now too. Okay, and we're just gonna run this right along here and right out through this little indent that we have in our hills. If you don't have one, you can make one, no problem. Okay, and I think we can go ahead and make that larger all the way along there. Once we exit the city, we can have a larger area here if we want. There. Okay, now we want a little canal area coming. Okay, so I'm right-clicking and I'm running across here to reestablish where the lake is. And this is the river that it's going to run into, but now we need to go down. We've done this before in our terraforming, so we have to go down and make it a little bit lower. Control Z will automatically get rid of something that you've messed up when you're doing terraforming, which is what I just did. Okay, so I'm going to right-click here and get this height, then scroll back up so I make certain I'm putting it in the right place. And I'm just going to pop a little opening into this. There. Okay, and then we're going to go down to the water source. Back this up, put our water source in. We've done this in, I think it was tutorial 2 or 3, so I'm not going to go back over what we do because you've done this before. You raise this. Okay, and then once you turn this on, down here at the bottom, and the water source starts filling in, I'm going to click this off. Then you've created yourself a lake that's going to overflow through this area and down into this little river. And we now have a river, or we'll have very soon, a river running into and out of that central one. Oops, wait a minute, I got to put it back on hold and I'll show you why. I put it on pause because when we make our river, if we already have a road and we try to run the river under the road, we get this. Okay? See what we got there? We've got like a little dam. Now, if we ran the road across where the river already is, it makes a bridge. See? I'm going to get rid of it now because we don't want that one there. But I just want to show you what happens. But that's okay. We can get rid of this the same way by getting rid of that little bit of road that's causing the dam. And there's another one over here where it goes out of the square. And we'll get rid of that road. Okay? And then when we put the road back in, it becomes a dam. Remember to always have it going in the right direction. There. Now this piece right here, previously, when I made the first tutorial, I put that in going the wrong way. I had it going this way, which was not right, and I didn't catch it until the next tutorial. So in that tutorial following this one, or the one after, I think it's following this one, I will be making a correction here that you don't need to make because we're not making it on this tutorial. Let me just confuse you further. Have I made your life interesting yet? Okay, and down here, same thing. Putting the road back in, and it becomes a bridge because it's going over this spot where the water's going to be. So now we can turn the water back on after I turn off the road before I make something I don't want. Okay, turning the water back on, making certain that we're on high acceleration, which we are. Now everything is going to overflow a lot for a while, but that's okay. It will eventually stop overflowing. when it realizes it's got a place to go and get out through, this should stop. Okay, so while that is going on and it's filling in, you can see how the water is coming down and rushing down into the stream here. And that's exactly what we want it to do. Now there's a second reason why we want this to be in our first I love the sound of that. I just love that they have the sound of water in this game. The reason that we're going to have this here, besides we have to in order to qualify it to become a city, we're going to be, when we create a city, we're going to be putting in the sewage treatment plants right here or right here. And we're going to want something that's going to flow this out of the city in a way that it doesn't go out into our ocean and make the ocean all polluted. And we want it to go out of the city as quickly as possible because we certainly don't want it polluting our city. So this should do the trick there. Now you're seeing water over here coming in from whatever the stream is that is out in, you know, La La Land, where we don't know what that is. So it's going to be going this way and this way until this hits that, and then because this is higher, it should push it out this direction. So there we go. I'm also going to run a little road from here out through this section. So that will solve our other problem, because if you go up here and you click, you can see that we now have water. It says to requirements, which is for making a city, you have to have a water stream in the starting area. Well, we've done that. It's got a green check on it. But there are two other requirements. We have to have at least one incoming highway connection and at least one outgoing highway connection. Once we have those done, we can publish this to our city map. So that's why one of the reasons why we're doing this right now. So I'm going to now do this little road here. I'm going to carry this road out, and you know how this is done, so I'm just going to put you on pause and run a road out, and when I get it almost done, then I'll show it to you. Pausing. Okay, I've run the road out all the way around. And in the process, you can see that it has dug itself its own little trench. I don't know if you've noticed this when you're making roads. If you run it through an area that it needs to have flattened out, it'll flatten it out on its own. Okay, and that's what the road did there. Okay, and also as it got over here and went up over the hill and came down on the other side, it automatically created its own little bridge coming down. I didn't do anything to create this, it just does it for you. Okay. Boy, it just doesn't want to, there we go. Okay. Just sort of follows the train. And just like if they were building a road and they had to straighten it out, it does it for it automatically. Okay, so we're going to take a look out here. I just wanted to show you if I can get it to, there we go. Okay, so you've got an outgoing road now, arrow going out. We don't have an ingoing road though, and we can do that on this highway. We have to make it one going back anyway. So we are going to put in a road from the outside, holding the left mouse button down and pulling the road in. Oh, that's way too close. Pulling the road in from outside and left clicking. We've started an incoming road. I'm going to put you on hold while I finish it off, because you know you don't need to watch it going like this, and I don't want to take up the tutorial time because the upload is horrendous here. So putting you on hold, Actually, I've decided I should probably let you watch this because this way you can see what it does. So left clicking to establish the connection and then running the road up. See how it makes its own little bridge? That's just kind of cool. And then using the D key and my mouse, I'm just following along, and you notice how it does its own thing as you're going. You don't have to create these flat areas for it. It does it on its own. There we go. And we're actually outside the city right now, so we can, do it any way we want. And turn it around here so we can connect. Okay, and then connecting. There. So now we have one going in and coming out of the city, and we have a road, and we have a stream going in and coming out of the city. So at any time we wanted to now, we could publish our map to the map list that we can make cities out of. Of course, we're not finished with it, so we're not going to, but we could. So go ahead and save your city. Go up here to the sprocket and save your city. Go to save. Click on the name for your city. And go down and hit save. Oh, I'm sorry. You've got your name there, but you have to put it up here. OC tutorial for me. Whatever you're naming it. And you'll notice here your requirements are now all filled. Recommended doesn't have to be filled. You could actually publish this to the new game panel now if you wanted to by just going down here and clicking this little circle so that it turns blue. I don't usually publish till I'm completely finished with the map, so I'm not going to click the blue and create, a map that I don't want right now. So saving and say yes to, do you want to overwrite? Okay, that's the end of this one. So we'll see you in tutorial number 11, and I hope to see you there. Okay, bye.